Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating piece of American history that has captured the attention of numismatists and investors alike: the 1941 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny. This penny is not just an ordinary coin. It's a tangible piece of the past, a snapshot of America during a pivotal time, and for some, it's a very valuable collector's item that can command serious money in today's market. The Lincoln cent has been a staple of American currency since its introduction in 1909, replacing the Indian head cent. This coin was designed by Victor David Brenner, and it features the beloved profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real person rather than symbolic imagery. The reverse side, until 1958, carried the iconic wheat ears design, which is why pennies minted from 1909 to 1958 are commonly referred to as wheat pennies or wheat cents. Now, let's zoom in on 1941, a year that sits right in the middle of World War II but before the United States entered the conflict after the attack on Pearl Harbor in December. The economy was still recovering from the Great Depression, and everyday Americans were carrying these pennies in their pockets, unknowingly holding a slice of history that would one day be highly sought after by collectors. The 1941 Lincoln wheat penny is relatively common among coin collectors. Millions were minted that year, and many survive in circulation. However, the particular 1941 penny without a mint mark holds a special status. To understand why, we need to talk about how pennies were minted and marked at that time. In 1941, pennies were produced at three main U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins minted in Philadelphia generally carry no mint mark, Denver coins have a D mint mark, and San Francisco coins have an S. The 1941 no mint mark penny means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Philadelphia's output was enormous, producing hundreds of millions of pennies that year. So why is the 1941 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny so special or valuable? Well, it all comes down to condition, rarity of certain die varieties, and collector demand. While many of these coins circulate worn and damaged, finding a 1941 no mint mark wheat penny in pristine, uncirculated condition is far more difficult. Coins in mint state or better grades show off their original mint luster and fine details without signs of wear or handling. This is what collectors prize most. Another factor influencing the value is the existence of certain rare errors and die varieties. Over time, small mistakes during the minting process, like double dies, repunched mint marks, or die cracks, can make a coin much more valuable than its face value. For the 1941 no mint mark penny, there are some known varieties that are incredibly rare, and those can command premium prices at auctions. The design itself also plays a role in desirability. The wheat ears on the reverse side are a beloved feature, symbolizing prosperity and growth during the early 20th century. The image of Lincoln on the obverse connects collectors emotionally with the legacy of one of America's greatest presidents. Let's discuss the coin's composition. The 1941 Lincoln wheat penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition continued until 1943, when pennies were made of steel due to copper shortages during the war. The warm reddish-brown color of copper coins makes them visually appealing and distinct from the steel cents. When it comes to valuation, it's essential to consider the coin's grade, rarity, and market demand. The grading scale ranges from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS 70. Most 1941 no mint mark pennies found in circulation fall in the good, G, to very fine, VF, range, which typically carry modest values, usually just a few cents or a couple of dollars at best. However, if you come across a 1941 no mint mark penny in extremely fine, EF, about uncirculated AU, or uncirculated, MS grades, the value can rise dramatically. Such coins, especially those certified by reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC, can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Furthermore, as mentioned earlier, error coins or rare varieties of the 1941 no mint mark penny can push the price even higher. For example, a 1941 double die penny, where the design appears double due to a misalignment during striking, is highly prized among collectors. The key takeaway is that the value of a 1941 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny depends heavily on its condition and rarity. While most of these coins are worth only a fraction over face value, exceptional specimens can bring impressive returns. In today's collector and investor market, the demand for vintage coins, especially those with historical significance and excellent preservation, remains strong. Coin auctions, online marketplaces, and numismatic shows all showcase these coins with varying prices depending on quality and provenance. Now, what if you find a 1941 no-mint mark penny tucked away in an old coin collection or your family's keepsakes? The first step is to have it carefully examined and graded by a professional. Proper grading can confirm its authenticity, condition, and any special characteristics. It's also wise to research recent sales of similar coins to get a realistic sense of current market value. Prices fluctuate based on collector interest, economic conditions, and the discovery of new rarities. Collectors often cherish these coins not just for their monetary value but for the stories they tell. Holding a 1941 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny is like touching a piece of American history, reflecting the era's economic challenges, wartime tensions, and enduring patriotism. For investors, rare coins like this represent a tangible asset that can appreciate over time, especially if kept in excellent condition and properly preserved. Many coin collectors recommend storing valuable pennies in acid-free holders or slabs to prevent damage. If you're looking to start a collection or expand your existing one, hunting for well-preserved 1941 no-mint mark pennies can be a rewarding pursuit. Remember, the thrill is in the search as much as the prize itself. To summarize, the 1941 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny is much more than a simple copper coin. Its historical background, distinctive design, and potential rarity in high-grade conditions make it a coveted piece for both collectors and investors. Most of these pennies you'll encounter are worth just a few cents to a couple of dollars, but those in pristine condition or with rare minting errors can reach astonishing values. Patience, knowledge, and careful examination are key when dealing with these coins. And now, for the big reveal, the 1941 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny, when found in exceptional condition or as a rare variety, can be worth as much as $31,003. So keep an eye out for this humble yet extraordinary penny, and maybe, just maybe, you'll uncover a treasure that's been hiding in plain sight all along. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting! Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating piece of American history, the 1942 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny. If you're a serious numismatist or just starting your collection, this coin is a must-know. Why? Because it's not just a simple penny, it's a rare artifact with a story that spans decades, blending history, minting quirks, and incredible value. So sit tight, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why the 1942 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is one of the most sought-after coins in the United States. First, let's set the stage with a bit of historical background. The year 1942 was a tumultuous time for the United States and the world. America was in the midst of World War II, a period that shaped everything from politics and society to even the metals used in coinage. The Lincoln wheat penny series, which ran from 1909 to 1958, is beloved by collectors for its classic design and rich history. These pennies are nicknamed wheat pennies because of the two stylized wheat ears framing the reverse side of the coin. The obverse, of course, features the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, making it a truly American symbol. In 1942, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of these pennies. Most had the typical no mint mark designation, meaning they came from Philadelphia. Unlike other years, the 1942 penny holds special significance due to a variety of production anomalies and the wartime context that affected coinage materials. Now, what makes the 1942 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so special? For starters, the 1942 pennies were struck with different compositions compared to other years. While the standard pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin, the ongoing war created a demand for copper for military purposes. This led to some unique minting experiments in the following year, 1943, but even in 1942, the pressures on metal usage were already significant. The no-mint mark 1942 Lincoln penny also stands out for its rarity in certain varieties and mint errors. These errors include doubled dies, repunched mint marks, and variations in the die alignment that make specific coins especially valuable to collectors. Coins with such minting errors often command prices far beyond the typical face value. For example, the 1942 doubled die penny is one of the most famous error coins from this era. On these, you can see a noticeable doubling effect on the date and the inscriptions, which was caused by the coin's design being stamped twice but slightly offset during production. These varieties are prized by collectors worldwide. Furthermore, in 1942, the mint employed different dies and slightly varied designs due to wear and replacement, resulting in subtle design changes that are studied closely by numismatists. The shape of Lincoln's ear, the size of the date numerals, and the thickness of the wheat stalks can all differ in pennies from this year, adding layers of depth to coin collecting for enthusiasts. So, how do you determine if your 1942 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is valuable? Condition is king in the world of coin collecting. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state. The better the condition, meaning the clearer the design, the less wear, and the more original the coin, the higher its value. A well-preserved 1942 no-mint mark penny, especially if it exhibits any of the rarer error varieties or die differences, can be worth a significant amount. Another factor to consider is provenance or history. Coins that come from notable collections or have documented histories often have added value. But even without a storied past, a genuine 1942 no-mint mark Lincoln penny in excellent condition can attract serious buyers and collectors. It's also worth mentioning that the 1942 pennies were minted in extremely large quantities, hundreds of millions. This makes the standard penny from this year common in most circulated conditions. However, because of the enormous volume, finding one in pristine condition without circulation wears rare, which drives up the price. Now, many people wonder about the metal content of these pennies. As mentioned earlier, 1942 pennies are composed of mostly copper, unlike the infamous 1943 steel pennies. This copper composition contributes to their longevity and helps many survive today in collectible condition. Their weight and feel are familiar to most coin enthusiasts, but it's the historical context and rarity of certain varieties that truly elevate the 1942 no-mint mark penny. Collecting Lincoln wheat pennies from this era is not just about monetary value, but also about preserving a piece of American heritage. Each penny tells a story, from the Great Depression years that preceded the war, through the struggles and sacrifices of the 1940s, to the decades since when collectors have treasured these coins. If you're planning to buy or sell a 1942 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, it's essential to get it professionally graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. This certification can dramatically impact its market price and buyer confidence. As for current market trends, the price of 1942 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies varies widely depending on condition and rarity. Most circulated examples can be found for just a few dollars, while uncirculated or error varieties command hundreds or even thousands. And now, for the truly rarest and most extraordinary specimens of the 1942 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, the value skyrockets to levels that most casual collectors can only dream of. Exceptional error coins, especially those certified in gem mint condition, have been known to fetch jaw-dropping sums at auctions. For example, some of the finest known specimens, with rare die variations or perfect mint states, have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. To give you a concrete idea of just how valuable these pennies can become. One such 1942 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny with exceptional condition and rare features is worth an astonishing $34,466. That's right, $34,466 for a single 1-cent coin. This price reflects not just the rarity and condition, but also the deep passion collectors have for Lincoln wheat pennies and the historic era they represent. If you happen to find a 1942 no-mint mark penny in pristine condition, or with an unusual minting error, do not underestimate its worth. Have it appraised by a professional and consider getting it graded and authenticated. The value could far exceed your expectations. To wrap up, The 1942 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny is a remarkable coin that embodies American history, minting craftsmanship, and collectible allure. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just intrigued by coins, this penny is a fascinating piece to study and cherish. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of American coin collecting, focusing on a truly iconic and historically rich piece, the 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny. This penny, simple in design but significant in legacy, has captivated collectors for decades, and its value has soared to surprising heights. If you're curious about what makes this humble penny so special, how to spot one, and why it could be worth a fortune, you're in the right place. Let's explore the story, rarity, condition factors, and current market value of the 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny. First, a bit of background. The Lincoln Wheat penny series, officially known as the Lincoln Wheat cent, was minted from 1909 all the way through 1958. These coins feature a portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, a design created by Victor David Brenner. The reverse side boasts two stylized wheat stalks, giving the coin its famous wheat penny nickname. This design symbolized prosperity and agricultural strength, resonating with the American spirit through much of the 20th century. Now, the 1950 penny is particularly interesting. Minted at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D Mint mark, this coin was produced in large quantities, yet it remains a gem for collectors, especially when found in high grades or with certain rare characteristics. Understanding why this penny holds value means diving into the details of coin grading, mint production numbers, and historical context. In 1950, the United States was experiencing post-war economic growth, and coin production was booming. The Denver Mint struck approximately 2.7 billion Lincoln Wheat pennies that year, a massive number by any standard. Despite this seemingly enormous production, many of these coins have worn down through circulation or been lost over time. Finding one in excellent condition is more challenging than you might think, which is why condition plays such a critical role in determining value. Coin grading is the process collectors and professionals use to assess a coin's physical condition. Grades range from poor, where the coin is heavily worn and details are barely visible, to mint state, which means the coin appears as if it just left the mint, crisp details, no signs of wear, and sharp luster. Within mint state, there are subgrades such as MS60 to MS70, with 70 being a perfect coin. For the 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny, most circulating coins fall somewhere between good, G4, and very fine, VF20, where some wear is visible, but key design features remain clear. However, the coins that truly attract collectors are those in mint state condition, especially those graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. These coins have retained their original shine and detail, making them far more valuable. Another aspect that can affect value is any unique or rare characteristics known as varieties or errors. While the 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny doesn't have widely known major errors, collectors still keep an eye out for subtle variations such as doubled dies or minting anomalies. These rarities can add a significant premium to the coin's price. So, what kind of prices are we talking about? For an average circulated 1950 wheat penny, you might expect to pay between 10 to 50 cents, as they are still fairly common in change jars and collections. But when you step into the realm of higher grades, the story changes dramatically. An uncirculated 1950 penny graded MS63 might sell for around $10 to $15 today, while MS65 examples could fetch anywhere from $40 to $60. At the very top end, pristine MS67 or MS68 coins are rarer and highly sought after, commanding prices well into the hundreds of dollars. Now, this might leave you wondering how anyone could pay thousands or tens of thousands for a simple penny minted in 1950. The truth lies in the combination of extremely rare conditions and unique historical provenance. Certain 1950 Lincoln Wheat pennies that have exceptional qualities, like flawless surfaces, perfect strike, and original brilliant luster, sometimes come up at auction with prices that shock the casual collector. Coins that achieve a perfect or near-perfect grade, MS69 or MS70, are nearly impossible to find and therefore become crown jewels in collections. Moreover, coins that come with impeccable documentation, such as being part of a famous collection or certified by multiple grading authorities, tend to bring top dollar. Provenance adds another layer of desirability and investment value. In fact, the absolute rarest and highest graded 1950 Lincoln wheat pennies have recently sold for over $22,000. Yes, you heard that right. $22,000. This astonishing figure isn't the norm, but it showcases how the right coin, in the right condition, can transform a modest penny into a highly prized collector's treasure. For collectors looking to find and invest in a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny, there are several important tips to consider. First, always buy from reputable dealers or auction houses with verified grading to avoid counterfeit or altered coins. Professional grading services provide an unbiased assessment that protects both buyers and sellers. Second, pay close attention to the coin's condition. It's worth investing in a higher grade penny if you want long-term value, rather than a worn example that might hold more sentimental than monetary worth. Third, consider joining coin clubs or online communities. Networking with experienced collectors can help you spot good deals and avoid common pitfalls. And finally, keep an eye on market trends. The value of coins like the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny can fluctuate based on collector demand, economic conditions, and discoveries of rare varieties. Before we wrap up, it's fun to look at some fascinating facts about Lincoln wheat pennies in general. Did you know the original 1909 pennies are among the rarest and most expensive Lincoln cents? The very first year of issue, especially the 1909 SVDB, is a holy grail for many collectors. Also, the wheat design was replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial reverse, marking the end of an era. This shift increased interest in wheat pennies as nostalgic collectibles. The Lincoln wheat penny is also unique for being one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history, connecting generations of Americans from the early 20th century to today. To sum it all up, the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny may seem like a humble piece of copper, but in the world of coin collecting, it holds a special place. Its rich history, combined with rarity and pristine condition, makes it a fascinating and potentially lucrative find. If you happen to come across a 1950 wheat penny that looks exceptionally sharp, don't overlook it. It might just be worth a small fortune. And remember, the rarest, highest grade examples have recently been known to sell for an eye-opening sum of $22,000. Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our treasure trove of coin knowledge. Got questions or want us to cover a specific coin? Drop a comment below. Happy hunting, and may your coin discoveries be valuable and exciting. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of one of the most sought-after and valuable coins in American numismatics, the 1950 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny. This tiny copper coin, which most people might overlook as mere pocket change, holds a remarkable story that blends history, rarity, and astounding value. The Lincoln wheat penny, officially known as the Lincoln 1 cent, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin quickly became a staple of American currency and remained in production with the iconic wheat ears reverse until 1958. Its popularity stems not only from its connection to Lincoln but also from its unique design and the historical context in which it was minted. Now, the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny is not the rarest coin of its kind. Millions were produced across several mints, including Philadelphia, No Mint Mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. But what makes the 1950 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny a gem for collectors is not just its production but the rare variations, its condition, and most importantly, the intrigue surrounding some exceptionally well-preserved and rare coins. Let's start by understanding the basic facts about the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny. It was produced mainly at the Philadelphia Mint, which famously did not use a mint mark on pennies during this period. The no mint mark signifies Philadelphia. Production numbers for the 1950 Philadelphia Lincoln wheat penny are staggering, with over 1.2 billion pennies struck that year. On the surface, this would suggest an abundance and relatively low value for the average coin. However, as every seasoned coin collector knows, rarity is not just about numbers minted. It's about survival, condition, and special features. Over the decades, countless 1950 wheat pennies were spent, lost, or damaged, making high-grade specimens increasingly rare. Coins that have maintained their original luster, sharp details, and lack of wear can command significant premiums, especially when graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. One major factor that affects the value of the 1950 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is its condition, or grade. In the world of coin collecting, condition matters enormously. A penny that has been heavily circulated with scratches, dents, or corrosion might only be worth a few cents or a couple of dollars. But a 1950 penny that is in mint state, meaning it shows virtually no signs of wear and retains its original mint luster, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on its grade. For example, an MS-65 grade, which is a gem uncirculated condition, can bring a premium price that easily surpasses $100 or more. Coins graded MS-67 or higher, which are almost flawless, are extremely rare and could fetch several thousands of dollars from passionate collectors. It's important to note that finding a 1950 penny in MS-67 is a remarkable feat because of the volume produced and the inevitable handling it has endured over the decades. But condition isn't the only key to unlocking the value of this coin. There are also intriguing errors and varieties that collectors seek out. For example, double die errors, where the coin design is accidentally stamped twice in misaligned fashion, create a unique look and rarity that can skyrocket a coin's worth. Although the 1950 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny is not widely known for major double die errors, subtle varieties and striking anomalies can still command serious interest from numismatists. Another aspect that influences value is the history and story behind the coin. The year 1950 was a significant time in post-World War II America. The country was experiencing economic growth, suburban expansion, and the early stages of the Cold War. The pennies minted that year were part of everyday American life. From vending machines to lunch counters, these pennies circulated widely, touching millions of hands and passing through countless stories. Collectors often feel a deep connection to coins like the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny because they represent more than just currency. They are tangible pieces of history, reminders of a time when America was transforming rapidly. Owning such a coin is like holding a tiny time capsule from a pivotal era. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of coin values and what collectors should watch for when buying or selling a 1950 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. First, the most common type of 1950 penny you will find is the circulated variety. These coins are worth roughly between 2 to 10 cents depending on condition. If you find a coin with heavy wear, it's unlikely to fetch more than a few cents. However, even circulated pennies with strong detail and decent eye appeal can be valuable if they exhibit certain eye-catching qualities. Next, uncirculated coins, which have never been used in everyday transactions and retain their original mint state, are where the real excitement begins. Prices for MS-60 to MS-63 range from around $5 to $50. These coins shine with their original luster and sharp details, making them much more desirable for collectors who want quality specimens. Then, as the grade improves to MS-64 and above, prices start to jump dramatically. Coins in the MS-64 range might fetch from $50 up to a couple $100. At this point, the coin's eye appeal and preservation are commanding serious interest. MS-65 and higher grades are rare gems and often find their way into private collections and even auctions. Professional grading is critical when dealing with high-value coins. Grading companies use a scale from 1 to 70 to rate a coin's condition. Coins graded 70 are perfect specimens with no flaws visible under magnification. The 1950 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny has been found graded as high as MS-68 and MS-69, which is almost unheard of for a coin over 70 years old. These rare high-grade coins can bring substantial sums. Let's also touch on the importance of cleaning or alterations. Many people mistakenly think that cleaning a coin will improve its value, but in reality, cleaning usually destroys the coin's natural patina and reduces its value drastically. Collectors prefer coins in original condition, even if they show some toning or discoloration, as this indicates authenticity. In addition to mint state coins, there are also proofs and special strikes made in limited numbers. Though proof Lincoln wheat pennies from 1950 are not common, finding one in pristine condition would be extraordinary and definitely add to the coin's value. Another interesting facet is the market trends. Over the last few decades, demand for vintage and rare pennies has surged due to increased interest in coin collecting and investing. The 1950 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is no exception. With more collectors entering the market and more information readily available online, prices for these coins have generally trended upwards. However, the coin market can fluctuate based on economic conditions, collector demand, and the release of new coins or discoveries. Savvy collectors keep a close eye on auctions, coin shows, and dealer inventories to time their purchases or sales for maximum value. For those wondering where to find genuine 1950 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies, there are several avenues. Local coin shops, online auction platforms like eBay, coin shows, and specialized dealers all offer opportunities. However, caution is advised. Counterfeit and altered coins do exist, so buyers should always request professional grading and certificates of authenticity when making significant purchases. Now you may ask, why would someone pay thousands for a small copper penny? The answer lies in the intrinsic historical value, rarity, and the joy of collecting. Coins like the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny embody stories, art, and a tangible connection to America's past. For many collectors, owning such a coin is a source of pride and a treasured legacy to pass down. To sum up the value story of the 1950 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny, common circulated coins generally hold low monetary worth but carry great historical significance. Uncirculated coins in high grades command increasingly higher prices, especially those graded MS-65 or above. Error coins and rare varieties add another layer of desirability. The market remains robust, with serious collectors and investors eager to acquire these pieces. Now, before we wrap up, here is a stunning fact to leave you amazed. The rarest, highest grade 1950 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat pennies have been known to sell for up to $31,938. Yes, that's right, $31,938 for a coin that fits comfortably in the palm of your hand. This astounding value reflects not just the metal or face value of the penny, but the story, rarity, preservation, and the passion of collectors worldwide. So, next time you come across a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, take a moment to appreciate the history it carries. And who knows, it might just be worth more than you think. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating pieces of American numismatic history, the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny. This tiny, humble coin, often overlooked by casual collectors, holds a treasure trove of stories and, most importantly, an incredible potential value that can make it a prized possession in any collection. The Lincoln wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, has been a beloved staple of American coinage since it was first introduced in 1909. It was designed by Victor David Brenner, featuring the profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, commemorating the centennial of his birth. The reverse side carries the iconic wheat ears design, symbolizing prosperity and the agricultural roots of the nation. For over 4 decades, this penny was the everyday currency in countless hands, but today, some of these pennies have grown into extraordinary collector's items. Our focus today is on the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny, minted at the Denver Mint, indicated by the distinctive D mint mark under the date. This penny might seem common at first glance since the 1950s was a period of high production for the Lincoln cent, but among the millions minted, a small number have survived in exceptional condition. These survivors have sparked interest not just because of their age, but because of their rarity, condition, and unique qualities. Let's start with the historical background to understand the context better. The year 1951 was a time of post-war prosperity in the United States. The nation was experiencing rapid growth, industry was booming, and everyday coins were heavily circulated as the economy expanded. At the Denver Mint, millions of pennies were produced to meet the demand. According to official mint records, over 754 million Lincoln cents were minted in Denver in 1951. This sheer volume means that, statistically, finding one in perfect condition is like searching for a needle in a haystack. However, not all 1951 pennies are created equal. Condition plays a massive role in the coin's value. Most of these coins were used daily, passed from pocket to pocket, exposed to dirt, moisture, and the wear and tear of everyday life. That's why finding a 1951 penny with strong, sharp details, original luster, and no major damage is rare and highly sought after by collectors. The grading of coins is an essential factor in determining value. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC assign grades ranging from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS70. A 1951 penny in circulated condition might be common and worth just a few cents, but once it reaches higher grades, especially mint state grades of MS65 or above, its value skyrockets. For example, a 1951 penny graded MS65 might be valued in the hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the market demand. And I appeal point one of the fascinating aspects of the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny is the discovery of specific varieties and errors. Coins with minting errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks, can command extraordinary premiums. For instance, a double die penny from 1951 shows a doubling effect on the lettering or date, which happened due to a misalignment in the minting process. Collectors often prize these error coins because they tell a story of the minting machinery's imperfections and add uniqueness to the coin. Now, let's talk about rarity. While 1951 pennies were minted in massive numbers, high-grade examples are scarce because most were circulated heavily. Over time, many have been lost, damaged, or melted down. So, when a 1951 Lincoln wheat penny surfaces in pristine condition, it immediately becomes the center of attention at auctions and coin shows. But why are collectors so fascinated with this penny? Besides the historical significance, the Lincoln wheat penny series itself has a special place in the hearts of numismatists. It represents an era of American coinage before the modern Lincoln memorial design replaced the wheat ears in 1959. This makes the wheat penny series a nostalgic window into America's past. Another point to consider is the metal composition. The 1951 penny is made primarily of copper, about 95%, with small amounts of zinc and tin. This composition was standard until 1982 when the U.S. Mint switched to copper-plated zinc due to rising copper prices. The copper content itself gives these pennies an intrinsic metal value that has increased over the years, especially as copper prices fluctuate. The market for rare pennies like the 1951 wheat cent is influenced by factors like collector interest, economic conditions, and auction results. Over the past decade, coins in exceptional condition have attracted record-breaking bids. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins that represent the pinnacle of preservation and history. For many collectors, acquiring a 1951 penny in mint condition is a symbol of achievement and dedication. It's not just about owning a piece of currency but preserving a slice of history. These pennies often come accompanied by stories, found in old coin collections, discovered in forgotten jars of change, or handed down through generations. When searching for a 1951 Lincoln wheat penny, it's crucial to understand how to spot authentic, valuable specimens. Signs of a genuine high-grade coin include sharp details on Lincoln's bust, clear lettering on both sides, no signs of cleaning or polishing, which can drastically reduce value, and a strong, original copper red or brown color. Collectors should be wary of counterfeit coins or those artificially enhanced to look more valuable. If you're considering investing in a 1951 penny or adding it to your collection, it's best to consult with professional numismatists or reputable coin dealers. Having your coin graded by a trusted certification service adds credibility and can significantly increase its marketability. Now, what about the actual value? As with most collectibles, value depends heavily on condition, rarity, and market demand. Circulated 1951 pennies might only be worth a few cents to a couple of dollars. However, high-grade mint state examples can reach into the thousands, especially those graded MS65 and above. Rare air varieties or proof-like examples can command even higher prices. To give you an idea, the most exceptional 1951 D Lincoln wheat penny specimens have recently sold at prestigious auctions for astonishing sums, reflecting their scarcity and the passion of collectors worldwide. And it all culminates in a breathtaking valuation. Some of these pennies have been valued as high as $28,398. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that once was simple pocket change, now transformed into a valuable artifact worth that incredible amount. It's not just a coin, it's a journey through American history, a testament to craftsmanship, and a dazzling piece of the numismatic puzzle. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just beginning your coin journey, the 1951 D Lincoln wheat penny stands out as a remarkable piece worthy of your attention. Its story, rarity, and potential value make it a treasure beyond its face value. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare pennies, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more fascinating stories about coins and collectibles. Drop a comment below if you have a 1951 D penny or any rare coins you'd like to share or learn about. Until next time, keep hunting for those hidden treasures in your change jars.